Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back. So happy to see you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend with your mommies. Well, today is Monday, May 11th, 2020. Well, boys and girls, we have a story for you today. I think you will enjoy it. And I want you to go and get a comfy blankie, a pillow or blanket, or something that you just like to snuggle up with when you're listening to a nice long story. Let's relax this Monday. It's been a busy weekend. Go and get something that'll keep you comfortable while we read this story. Welcome back. Okay, let's get comfortable as we read The Tortoise and the Hare. Let's go over the parts of the book first. Top, bottom, front cover, back cover, spine, side, pages. Very good, boys and girls. This is a wonderful story about the tortoise and the hare. And it is written and illustrated by the staff of the Walt Disney Studios. Remember, if you write the story, you are the author. Thank you, Xander. And if you draw the pictures, you are the illustrator. That's right, Hunter. Okay, so get comfy. Snuggle up with your pillow or your blanket and put those big listening ears on. All right, The Tortoise and the Hare. The sun was smiling down upon the little forest folk as they gathered for the big race between Toby Tortoise and Max Hare. No one really expected slow Toby to defeat Max, but they admired Toby for having the courage to race against the champion. Max Hare was known in the forest from root to treetop, from meadow to mountain, as the Blue Streak, the fastest runner of them all. Max would brag how he could beat anyone who would dare to race him. When Toby Tortoise offered to run against Max in a race, Max had just laughed. Max stepped out of his training quarters to a roaring crowd. Most of the forest folk were secretly rooting for Toby, but they knew Max would be the winner. When Toby crept out of his training quarters and wobbled and waddled in front of the crowd, some cheered, but some laughed. Toby Tortoise just smiled in his simple way, shook his head, and drawled, "You may laugh because I'm slow, but he laughs best who wins the race. Slow and steady is my style, and slow and steady is my pace. Toby trudged along to the starting line where Max was waiting. "Well," Toby said, putting out his hand, "may the best man win." "Thanks," blustered Max. "I will." Just then, Rudy Raccoon called out, "This race is for the championship of forest and field. Runners, take your marks." Poor Toby took his mark in the wrong direction. "Get set." Just as Toby was starting to turn around, go! Bang went the starting gun. Whiz went the blue streak. And far behind him, huffing and puffing, Toby came plodding along. The hare paused for a moment and saw the tortoise was hardly in sight. "Time for a little joke," Max said. He came to a nice, shady tree and found a comfortable spot to rest. His eyes were closed, and he pretended to sleep. Toby kept a slow but steady pace, and there ahead he saw Max. "Why, that's no way to run a race. He's fast asleep." "A plain disgrace," said Toby as he ambled past. But the moment Toby had gone over the hill, here came Max, zipping right past him. "Ha ha!" Max called. "Fooled ya!" Not too far down the road, Max came to Miss Cottontail's school for girls. 4 sweet little bunnies sitting on a stone wall called out, "Yoo-hoo!" Max slid to a stop and strutted back to chat. "I'm the champion," he bragged, and he told them all about his many racing wins. After a while, Toby reached the stone wall too. "Yoo-hoo!" called the girls. "Won't you stop and play?" "Stop and play," said Toby. "I have a race to run. No time, no time." And he puffed his way past the giggling girls and smirking hare. Max laughed as Toby passed. The girls said in amazement, "Don't you think you'd better go? The tortoise has the lead." And the hare answered, "Say, I've got lots of time to play. My middle name is Speed." And he flew through the school gate. "Watch this," he called. The hare shot an arrow. Sping, then zing, sped to a tree, picked an apple, put it onto his head, then spang, the arrow split the apple. The hare picked up a baseball and mitt and gave the girls a wink. "Here's a trick I've never shown, for I'll play baseball on my own." With a sharp swing of his arm, he threw the ball zip. As it rushed through the air, Max ran after the ball. In a split second, he had passed the ball and picked up a baseball bat. He turned and crack! He hit the ball up into the air. Tossing the bat aside, Max ran again after the ball. And again, he sped right past it. Looking over his shoulder, he saw the ball coming down out of the sky. Max leaped, stretched out his arm, and caught the ball. The bunnies clapped and cheered. The hare bragged, If you think that was mighty quick, wait until you see this trick. He strutted over to the tennis court and ping pong, ping pong, amazed the girls with his one-man tennis game. Max was quite delighted with himself. He was now the idol of the schoolgirls. He certainly was a champion. While Max was showing off, Toby trudged steadily along, reaching the home stretch toward the finish line. When the crowd saw Toby, a mighty cheer went up. Hooray! Back at the school, Max heard the cheer. Oh no, he thought. He turned to the girls and said, "Farewell, ladies. I have a race to win." And he sped off down the road. Faster, 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 ran Max. Surely he would catch up. Why, Toby was just a slow, puffing tortoise. And he was the blue streak. Toby heard a swishing sound and looked back in alarm. The hare! Turning toward the finish line, Toby closed his eyes and pushed himself as hard as he could. With one mighty effort, he stretched out his head as far as it would go. And something hit him on the nose. He opened his eyes. It was the tape. The finish line tape. Slow and steady, he had won the race. Toby Tortoise had beaten Max Hare by a neck. The end. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that. The tortoise and the hare. What's a tortoise? A turtle is right, Kylie. Thank you. And what's a hare? Max was a rabbit. Very good. Marcus, thank you. Well, who won the race? Toby the tortoise. That's right, Kylie. Well, why did he win the race, Carter? He kept running. Very good. So I hope that you enjoyed it and you understand how it's not all about being the fastest. It's about doing your work and never giving up. But keep going until you reach the end. Thank you for good listeners today. And I will see you tomorrow. Until then, remember, God loves you, and so do I.